If you are watching this video, then that means you are somebody who wants to get rich. And maybe you have doubts, maybe you have an issue or a concern that you may not even possibly ever get rich. So if you're clicking on this video, for one, you're in the right spot if you want to get rich. For two, we're going to overcome all of that in the sense of we're going to statistically increase the odds of you becoming rich. Who am I to say all of this? Because this is kind of some big, bold claims here. If you don't know who I am, my name's Devin Knapp. I've been able to make over $5 million in my 20s, and I've been able to do it in multiple different businesses now, make over $1 million. With that being said as well, I've helped hundreds of other people be on the journey of getting low-key rich to actually becoming legitimately rich. You know, low-key rich, 10, 20, 30K a month, to people getting over $100,000 a month, to working their way towards making $1 million a month. And so I feel like I have some of the best background to at least somewhat talk about this in the right direction. Okay, so what we're going to go through are some of the different elements of increasing the odds of success. Some of it is arbitrary and more woo-woo and mindset and belief stuff, and then some of it is actual statistical evidence that will get you there. So this is going to be both for the logical brain person and the emotional, just like, oh, I don't know how any of this numbers shit works, and I'm going to be rich regardless. Because I feel like I'm a bit of both categories. Because you see, I went to school for computer science. I have a brain that's made for solving problems, from working from the top down of a problem. So I can look at something that's like, hey, why does this thing not work? And I can reverse engineer just about anything now at this point. And that's been a lot of the reason why I've been able to become rich, why I've been able to make millions of dollars in my 20s, and why I'm so successful at helping other people just like you be able to do this. So let's get into it. The first one is to understand the archetype of a rich person. So we can go into, what's the personality trait? What are the things that you need to believe or identify as like common patterns I've been able to recognize from studying thousands of millionaires and billionaires over the years and meeting them and talking to them in person, which is that, first of all, is you delusionally need to believe that you're the best person to get rich. I know this one sounds kind of crazy, but there's something instinctively inside of you that you know deep down inside, in your heart of hearts, that you're somebody that deserves to get rich, can get rich, will get rich. If you don't have any of that, then you should just get off this video immediately, because no reason to waste your time. Because everybody who has become a millionaire is somebody that deep down inside knows that they are capable of getting rich. Because otherwise, if you don't believe that, you will never get rich. If you have doubts, if you don't have faith, if you're fearful of what the future holds, you, my friend, will not get rich. So, first of all, is believing that you can get rich is number one. Like, you know it, you know deep down inside, it's in your heart of hearts. So that should eliminate 95% of people that want to get rich. So, that brings me over to the next point, which is that the archetype of somebody who becomes rich is not somebody, typically, who is doing things for the sake of money. They know that if they are just a valuable person, if they know that they provide more value to the marketplace than everybody else, and they can outcompete and outmaneuver everybody else, and if they are somebody who is considered valuable and they're in the right time, in the right place, and the right opportunities, they will get rich. You see, they're not scratching lottery tickets at the gas station, because there's a statistic that poor people actually are the highest amount of people that buy lottery tickets out of any other group. Same with gamblers and any of this thing where you're going to defy the odds and you're going to get struck by lightning, or you have a higher chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery, is for poor people. So you know that if you're in the right place, in the right time, with the right skill sets, with the right resources, you can make it happen, which then sounds like luck, right? Okay, so then at this point, the only way to get rich is luck. You'd be lucky. You have to be lucky to get rich. So most people, they go play scratch-offs and stuff. That being said, a lucky person will know that luck isn't just freaking dice roll in life. But instead, what luck is you putting in the reps and having a higher opportunity for luck. Some people just get straight up lucky. They inherit like all of their wealth. But that's a small portion of people that have become millionaires and billionaires. There are a lot of people that are Nepo babies that have been had to pass down, which I am not. I sadly was not born with a golden spoon, and instead I watched my parents lose everything growing up in the recession and seeing them try and start a bunch of different businesses and failing and succeeding and failing ultimately. And a lot of them, like a lot of me growing up, I didn't grow up with money or any of that stuff. So I had to figure it out on my own, and I would consider my life very extremely lucky. But how is it that I, saw my parents lose everything, and I became someone who's magnificently lucky and rich and successful at such a young age? Well, my friend, that's because I created luck. And so I learned a few things about creating luck, which is that if you increase the skill sets that you have, if you increase you being an opportunist, like as in you jumping on opportunities when you see them and jumping on them. Like right now, AI is like a huge wave right now, and there's many, many millionaires and billionaires that are going to be created because of AI and artificial intelligence. And you're somebody who is an executioner, an executor. Maybe not someone that kills people, but somebody that can get stuff done in a manner that allows you to be on top of opportunity. And the sad reality, the raw reality of most of the people that are trying to get rich out there, just straight up are not doing the work that needs to be done. They like the idea of getting rich. They desire to get rich. They want to be rich, yet they don't get the things done that need to get done. Something that should take only 30 minutes to an hour ends up taking a week. To make a single damn decision takes them a month. And ultimately, everybody is stacking the odds against them in their favor. So, to recap on the archetype of somebody that's successful is 1, they believe that they will become successful, that they can become rich themselves. 2, they understand value proposition and how the world works, and that ultimately at the end of the day, all the money will go to the person or the entity that provides the most amount of value in the marketplace. During a war is something significantly different than something that is like during a time of peace for what is considered valuable at that time. So understanding where is the marketplace at, what is considered value, and continuously providing it. Most people become billionaires through war because government contracts are insane and there's so much more money in war than any other time from an individual source of place rather than having to sell to a bunch of consumers. And then the times shift and the tide shift of who is, what is considered the opportunity in the marketplace. Which then brings me over to as well, which is that they create their own luck. And they know how luck works. Okay, so you understand the archetype of somebody that's successful. Let's talk about the statistics of success. So, first of all, is if you play the game, you immediately have an advantage against somebody who doesn't play the game at all. Because somebody who's not trying to get rich, who's not playing the game of wealth, who is not trying to get rich at all, will never get rich, flat out, unless they get lucky and win inheritance. So let's just say we all have a level playing field of the odds of inheritance. Your luck is significantly greater by just playing the game. And so if you just stay in the game, you will increase your odds of success as well. Somebody who plays the game for 1 year is going to be far less fortunate or have the ability to get rich than the person that plays the game for 5 years, for a decade, for 2 decades, for 3 decades. So by simply just playing the game for longer, immediately increases the odds of success. So if you have a long-term mindset when it comes to getting rich, building businesses, finding ways of getting rich, you immediately have an advantage over other people. Now, let's try to do things to increase the odds of success in a shorter time period. But by just having a long-term mindset and just building time-tested and true belief systems and mental models will get you far ahead of everybody else and just increase the odds of you becoming rich and successful. The next thing is how many people are actually trying to get rich. Everybody wants to get rich. That is a completely different statistic than the amount of people that are actually trying to get rich. So let's take this into like a fitness analogy. What percentage of dudes in the world have a six-pack? Because it's something that's desirable. A six-pack, it's like, it's seen by other men as respectable, as in like, oh, they worked hard for it. And then also to women, it's attractive, and it just shows, that they're a higher value man by just simply having a six-pack. That doesn't indicate, their wealth or anything like that, but six-pack regardless is desirable. How many dudes in the world probably have a six-pack? Probably 0.001% of guys. 0.1%. Probably like 1 in 100,000 dudes probably has a six-pack. Let's say 1 in 10,000. We can be a little bit more generous. So if 0.001% 0.01% of guys have a six-pack, then the question is how many guys are actively pursuing a six-pack? Not how many guys want a six-pack, but how many guys go to the gym 6 days a week trying to get abs, hitting every ab workout, going an hour or two a day into building abs, and actively pursuing, cutting down their fat and getting a six-pack. Probably less than 1% of guys. So by simply being one of those guys that is actively trying to get a six-pack and pursuing that every single day, increases the odds of you becoming somebody with a six-pack dramatically. Makes it like 1 in 100, 1 in 10 or so. By just pursuing a six-pack, you have the odds of getting a six-pack. The same with money. It's just, if you're somebody who pursues getting rich, like on a day in, day out basis, that's all they think about and that's all they pursue. And every single day they're finding opportunities that'll get them rich, and they are actively pursuing those things and actively trying, is probably less than 2% of people in the world. Probably less than 1%, to be honest. Probably 0.5% of people in the world, probably even less, of people that are actively pursuing to getting rich, and they take opportunities and they pursue anything that comes in front of their plate. And so by you simply pursuing to get rich on a legitimate basis, not just I want to get rich, but you actively are trying to do shit every single day of getting rich. You're going to networking events, you're trying the new opportunity. As soon as a new AI tool comes out, you're trying it out and trying to apply it to something on a regular basis. You're sticking to it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, as we were talking about the time earlier. How many people are doing that? Nobody. Everyone gives up after freaking 30 seconds. Everybody has the IQ and the attention span of a goldfish, less than a goldfish now these days. By simply having a longer term mindset and actively pursuing getting rich every single day, increases it to where it's 1 in 10, 1 in 5 of you being able to actually get rich and live the life that you want. So there you go. Statistically now, you have increased the odds of you getting rich. You see, for myself, I knew without a doubt I was going to be rich. For me, I knew without a doubt that if I showed up every single day, even when I ran out of money, even when I had $50 to my name, even when I didn't have any money in my bank account and I had to figure out how to pay rent and all this stuff, that if I just stayed in the game, that if I kept showing up and I kept actively pursuing it, nobody was going to do that shit. Most people would give up, and I knew that when I was going through the hardest of times and me getting rich and trying to figure this all out. I knew that most people would give up by now. They just wouldn't do it. They flat out would not pursue becoming wealthy anymore. So I knew damn well that if I just kept pursuing it, most people wouldn't be willing to do that. Most people wouldn't be willing to sit in front of a camera every single day for a year straight. Most people wouldn't be willing to fail and eat shit for longer than a month. How do I know that? Because I didn't know a single damn person in high school or college that I went to that tried pursuing it. So I just knew that if I just worked hard, it was going to happen at a young age. There's going to be a lot of my, colleagues or people that I went to high school with or college with that will inevitably get rich in their 30s and 40s, but they'll probably develop that trait in later stages in their life. I knew, though, at the age of 18, that nobody else was putting in the work like I was, and so it was just standing me out from the crowd, and it was inevitably going to make myself rich, So, those are a couple parts: archetype, and then statistically, and then now let's talk about environments. So, most people, they go on social media, and then they see all these Lamborghinis, Bugattis, all this stuff, and they view that, and they're just oh, isn't that too bad that we see all this, impossible types of forms of success, and how terrible social media is for the psyche, and all this dopamine that you get, and all this motivation porn, which that's what it is at the end of the day. It's porn. It's just a different type of porn. You're watching somebody be successful. But what it is at the end of the day is it shows you that it's attainable. And so the last point that I have for this video is your environment is everything. And so if you follow a bunch of people on social media that smoke weed, that do drugs, that don't do anything with their life, that work a 9-to-5 job, I'm sorry, friend, but you will stay broke for the rest of your life unless you don't go on social media and you delete social media. There's a trend right now of a dopamine detox where people have to delete social media so that way they can become, productive in life and actually do something with their life and actually go get rich or whatever. And that's because, my friend, most of you follow broke people. And when you follow broke people, you're going to get broke people content on your feed. How social media algorithms work, and and mind you, my friend, I've got billions of views on social media now, and I've made millions of dollars off of social media, is how algorithms work is to get you to make content that is considered shareable. Because word of mouth is the fastest form of virality that is out there. Jonah Berger has a great book about this. She calls it The Steps of Virality. In the book called Contagious. It's a great book. I recommend it to every student that I work with. But these social media algorithms are made to mimic word of mouth. And so word of mouth works like a movie theater. It's like if someone goes and watches a movie, it's like the higher likelihood that if someone's going to recommend a movie to another friend, the higher likelihood that that movie is going to perform in theaters, right? And the same exact thing with social media. If a piece of content is higher likely to be shared to a bunch of other friends, then they will perform better in the algorithm. We have a Corvette that's like trying to go 150 on the freeway. So if you just simply understand that social media algorithms are meant to mimic word of mouth, you realize how effed you are by following people, by following broke people. Because all it takes is one of your dumbass friends to go like some meme or like some big booty hoe video or something on their social media algorithm. And then now your feed is flooded with this stuff. The reason why you need a dopamine detox is because you follow a bunch of idiots. And so it's just so easy for you to be programmed to watch this content because it's constantly in your face, because Instagram or whatever algorithm, YouTube, thinks that you like it because it's the freaking Jimmy, one of your, friends, watches this video all the time, these types of videos all the time. So naturally, you're going to get the same bullshit as well. So if you feel anxious, if you feel depressed, if you feel like you're not getting any closer to your goals, unfollow everybody. Unfollow every single person that is not successful already. I went and studied a bunch of successful people and who they followed. Actually, I went and looked at this myself. I remember I was looking at specifically the one that comes to mind was I was looking at Dan Bilzerian, and I looked at who he followed and who he didn't follow. He followed MMA fighters, hot chicks, and celebrities and very successful people. That was it. That's all he followed. So what's on his feed? Hot chicks, very successful dude, supermodels, very successful people, and stuff that's actually people that are wildly successful and people that are fighting. So it was who's he going to naturally be as a person? He's going to have hot chicks around him. He's going to be wildly successful, and he's going to just be a badass motherfucker, basically. So if you only follow badass motherfuckers, what are you going to become yourself? A badass mofo. Another trick around social media is it knows where you are. So if you simply just go travel to another place, if you go to a wealthy city or a wealthy town, you're only going to get wealthy content. If you go to a broke town or a broke place, you're going to only get broke people content. So by simply changing the zip code that you're in and going to another place, even if you don't even live there, go freaking tent camp in Newport Beach or something like that, or Miami or something, you're going to only see rich people shit when you're there. Broke people content just doesn't even exist when you live in these zip codes, because it knows that you're unlikely to want to watch the content because of the area that you live, and instead it shows you the content that you're more likely to see, which is $100 million yachts, $10 million, $20 million, $50 million houses, and just insane luxury lifestyle, instead of seeing broke people content. So your environment is everything. And so if you're feeling unproductive, unable to make progress towards your goals, if you're not getting any richer, if you're not making any more money, travel. Leave your hometown. Get out of your parents' basement. Move out of your parents. Even if that means that you're going to move into a time in your life when you aren't able to make enough, it's going to be a struggle to pay rent because it's kind of expensive, or you're not saving any money. Good. Because that is what you need to do to be rich in this day and age, my friend. They keep talking about how we're going to have the have-nots and have-yachts. There's going to be people that have yachts and the people that have nothing in their life. And that separation has already started. And it starts with your brain and the addiction that you have to the chemical reactions that happen inside of your brain, aka your hormones, because the dopamine and the serotonin and the cortisol that you're getting on your feed on a regular basis. And so I applaud you for getting to this point, because that means you're patient enough to to listen to something that's going to actually get you rich and actually change your life. But that being said, you will always be broke and always stay poor or never get rich if you are consistently, I'm trying to get it over real quick, if you consistently are in an environment of other broke people that keeps you comfortable, that keeps you safe. You see, if I stuck with my computer science degree and I went to school for computer science, I would not be rich today. I probably would have had a good salary, I would have made good money, but I would have stayed poor. As in, I probably would have made a few $1,000,000, but that's it. I wouldn't have made 10 million, I wouldn't have made 50 million, I wouldn't make $100 million, because I'm going to be limited by the opportunity that I pursue. And if I'm too comfortable, if I have a salary, if I'm a wage slave, and I stick to something that, you know, pays all my bills and covers all my costs, I will always stay broke in my life. I will always just make just enough. Maybe I can invest my way to getting to where I have more and more money, and get to a point when I get to the age of 40 and I retire. But I have to sacrifice my 20s, 30s, and 40s in order for that better future. I don't want to sacrifice my 20s and 30s. I want to be rich now. I don't want to wait. I want to be rich now, realistically. And so instead of waiting for life to happen to me, I let life happen because of me. I pursue opportunity. I stand in the face of fear, even when it feels scary to do something and when I could lose it all, knowing that I am doing something that the only 0.001% of people are willing to do. And that being said, if I keep playing the game, if I keep showing up, if I keep becoming the person that is like every other billionaire, every other wildly successful person, following the archetype of very successful rich people, and I constantly curate my environment to constantly change if I feel unmotivated or uninspired, even if it means I'm tent camping, even if it means I'm just living out of my car for a little bit, even if it means I have to couch surf for a little bit. If that's what it takes to get rich and to live this upper echelon 0.001% life, then so be it. Now the thing is that may not be for you. And that's okay. If you're not supposed to get rich, that's fine. Don't lie to yourself though. Don't be the person that low-key wants to get rich and is going to lay on a deathbed full of regret because you didn't jump on the opportunity that is there in front of you right here, right now, because it was comfortable. Because you were scared of what that was going to mean for your family and the time that you had away from them. Because you were scared of what that meant for your future retirement. Instead, just accept the fact that you probably won't get insanely rich. You might be able to jump on some opportunities here and there, make $100,000 here, make $1 million here. You're not going to get rich. You're not going to make 30 million. You're not going to make 50 million. You're not going to make $100 million if you're consistently just pursuing comfort and staying in the lane of comfort, my friend. So, if you want to increase the odds of getting rich, apply everything that I talked about inside this video. If you don't want to get rich, I don't know why you're still here. That means you probably want to get rich if you're still at this point, because I tried to get you the fuck off this video earlier, and that means you're still here. So either you fell asleep after you clicked this video, or you actually want to get rich. So, my friend, don't just use this as another piece of information. Don't just use this as another video that you're going to store in the bank and save it till later. No. Take action on this now. If you missed everything I talked about, rewatch this damn video. Over and over and over again until you get it. Because if you're not feeling like you're going to go get rich as fuck after watching this video, then that means you didn't listen to me inside this video and that you need to go start, that you know what you need to do to get rich, my friend. So watch it over. Let's get you rich AF, and let's go increase the odds of you getting rich and make it so it's impossible for you not to get rich, my friend. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.